Good morning, everyone. If you're battling an addiction or you have a loved one who you think may be in trouble, our next guests are here to help, and that's Greg Hannley and Daniel Baldwin with Soba Recovery, along with the beautiful Miss USA 2006 and recovery advocate Tara Connor, and your precious friend Rocky.
Oh, hi.
Good morning. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Morning. How are you? How was your trip?
Good.
Good.
Yeah. How was your flight?
There's been a lot of flights in the past couple of days, right?
There's been a lot of
driving today. I don't like flying in the clouds.
You're going to stay. You can stay, Greg. We want to keep you. So we always start these off by talking about some trending topics, and there's some good ones and some trending topics I think you guys are really going to like, and I want to hear what you have to say about it. So first up, this just came out on Friday. CVS will limit opioid prescriptions to 7 days. This is huge. So they announced on Friday they're going to limit these prescriptions to 7 days for certain conditions, and the restriction will apply to patients who are new to pain therapy. And then they will also limit the daily dosage of pain pills based on their strength, and will require use of immediate release formulations before extended release opioids. But what does this do in the fight against the crisis?
It ends it. I mean, it's the starting of the ending.
Right.
It's awesome.
And I know that a lot of people, we get a lot of calls when we talk about this from people who, you know, are on painkillers that, you know, believe that they should be able to get whatever they need or whatever they want. But, you know, we have 50,000 kids a year that we're losing that all start on painkillers.
Right.
And you talk about this all the time, the fact that they go in for the first time to see a doctor and have an injury, and they give them 30 days worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to just a few days.
It's a pro and a con. It tells me two things. It tells me, A, it's a great start, and it tells me, B, buy stock in Rite Aid. Because if it doesn't turn around and become a federal mandate, that they all do it, well, they're just going to switch dealers.
Right.
You know, so.
I mean, drug addicts are pretty resourceful.
You just find the place that isn't doing that.
Well, there's only one doing it. It's a big one.
It's a huge one.
Hats off to CVS, you know.
Well, I think Walgreens is doing it too.
They are, okay.
Yeah, and we've been saying that this is what needs to happen for, you know, for a long time. So.
No, I read that and I was so happy for you guys.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, I hope they know this, because this is, again, the start to hopefully something much greater.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's something forward.
Yeah, my addiction started because of the overprescription of medications, and so, I mean, it was just getting into medicine cabinets as a 14-year-old and being like, ooh, may cause drowsiness, and so it is a start, and I'm glad that they're doing it. Everyone needs to jump on board.
Yeah.
They need to, like we said, make it a national order, an emergency order. If
They
there was
did
any
make it a
other-
national emergency. Nothing's happened yet.
Well,
But
yeah.
they did, it was announced, President Trump did say that.
Yeah,
right?
so you
They
go,
did.
this is an emergency.
Now.
Right. Okay, now what?
But normally, you know,
A month later.
call the ambulance
Well,
or do something.
the bottom line is you know, at X amount of alcohol, you're no longer allowed to drive a car. That's a law.
Right.
So it should be a law. Make it a law that no one can do it. Everyone has to follow suit, and let CVS be the leader.
Yeah.
And people who have legitimate pain, or, you know, in Europe they use these type of medications for hospice or surgeries.
Right.
And people who need that, yeah, it's going to be a little inconvenient that you need to have your doctor re-prescribe it,
But if you really need it and the doctor thinks you really need it.
It shouldn't be
yeah,
a problem.
those people aren't going to get left out.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, this also has to do with something you can find in pharmacies now, and it's called the timer cap. Have y'all heard of this? So it's this patented stopwatch on the top of medication caps that lets you manage your medication in the bottles they were dispensed in. So you can take it off, cancels out the time, and then when you put it back on, it resets the timer. So essentially, it kind of lets you track when you last took your medication.
I mean, that wouldn't stop me from taking it.
Right, because you can just get in. It doesn't matter. You can open it. It's not like
it's like,
locks.
does it lock?
It doesn't. So, exactly. And you need a certain code, but.
And it only distributes one. It's like a Pez.
I feel like they should take the money that they're putting into these caps and figure out something different to do.
Yeah.
Or
If you
make
want it, you're not going to
make it a little miniature safe.
There you go.
Yes.
Money immediately comes out of your account every time you open it when you're not
Yeah,
supposed to.
stipulations.
Okay, here's another one, and we've talked about this before too. Now insurers are restricting pricey, less addictive painkillers. So many insurers are limiting access to pain medications that carry a lower risk of addiction or dependence, and they say it's because opioid drugs are generally cheap while safer alternatives are often more expensive. So they don't want to offer the safer alternatives.
Well, it's about time they figure it out that, you know, they're paying for all these prescriptions that are getting people sick.
Right.
And then they're paying for them to go to treatment to get well. And, you know, it's just they just need to get a handle on it again. This isn't something that's been going on for 50 years.
Right.
This isn't literally in the last 10 years since the OxyContin makers started marketing it so bad. So, yeah, time to fix it.
Yeah. Daniel?
You know, the thing that in the circle of this that disturbs me is that the same people that have the medications that got people in trouble now have multiple cures.
And people can't get their hands on them.
They sell the kit that wakes you up from, you know, a near-death comatose state. They have a shot now that can stop you from wanting that. Of course, if you go off that shot even for a day, you're going to go right back to the medication or the illicit drug. You know, they've got pills that we're treating people for. You know, when you take a Suboxone, you become, without that Suboxone, if you're on it for too long, addicted to that.
I used to take that all the time when I couldn't find drugs.
Yeah, of course. You know,
Yeah,
so,
I detox people off Suboxone.
Yeah.
You put them on that, and then you have to detox them off a second time.
Yeah.
well, that's that difference between, you know, going for Eastern, you know, philosophy versus the Western. We're going to give you a pill to make it better here. We're not going to look at the root cause, which is what's so different about going to Soba.
Yeah.
They understand at Soba that 95% of the people have some underlying, the byproduct is the drug addiction or the alcohol.
Right.
There's something that is causing that unrest in you that makes you want to numb yourself. If you don't get down to the root cause, if we can't find a way to stop them from taking the drugs to numb themselves, because they're not taking the drugs to numb themselves because of an injury. They're taking the drugs to numb themselves because of a feeling.
Right. Emotional pain. All right, well, we are going to have more with Soba after the break, so you guys stick around.
Hi, I'm Daniel Baldwin, and this is Soba, Texas, where I got sober. When you come to Soba, you're not going to a hospital. You're going to a beautiful ranch. You're going to a place of peace where you're going to join a family of people that have a common problem, addiction or alcohol. Your treatment plan is made by the clinicians here at Soba, depending upon the circumstances in your life, not like one size fits all. It starts with a phone call. Someone will answer the phone and talk you through exactly what your needs are. Call now.
And we are back with Soba Recovery. Greg Hannley, Daniel Baldwin, and the beautiful Tara Connor are all joining us. And I want to talk about the latest issue of Recovery Today, which is your publication, and the awesome lady who is on the cover, which is Jamie Lee Curtis. And she gave a wonderful interview. I read the whole thing. She was very, very open about everything. Yeah, so how did that come about?
I don't know.
You're just glad it happened.
How did we get Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yes, she is amazing.
She's amazing.
She's an advocate and for recovery, and you know, people reached out to her, and then she was on the cover.
She's like, I'm in.
That's
I read the whole
amazing.
thing. It was a great interview, and I kind of want to go over some of the things she talked about, because I feel like some of the things she said are some of the things that I've heard you say before, Daniel. So she talked about why she decided to do the interview, and she said she was reading an article that another writer had written, and basically he just outed himself in that article. Nobody knew he was an addict, and he came out and he was brave, and she said that is what gave her the courage to come out too and be honest.
I mean, I think for Daniel and I, it was just broadcasted all over everything,
have a
so we
say
didn't
in
really
it.
have a choice in whether or not we were going to be advocates.
Yeah, too late, it's out there. So now what?
Right.
So we actually get the opportunity. I mean, that it worked for me to be able to get sober in that way, because it held me accountable in front of all of these people. But I do, you know, applaud her for being so open and honest for all of these years. Because
17 years, right?
We need more like that.
Yeah. She also, oh, go ahead, Daniel.
I've known Jamie for 30 years. She's a good friend of mine. And she's the type of person that really cares about people. And I think, too, you know, we just recently had a very, very famous baseball player contact Alex and some people from Soba and say, hey man, I really like that magazine. I really like it. I read your articles. I'd like to be on the cover. Now they're calling us.
That's amazing.
Because,
tell their story.
Yeah.
well, because Greg says something that's really, really true. Being sober is becoming fashionable and cool for kids and for people.
It's
you know,
cool to
it's
be
no
sober.
longer so much of a stigma to say I have a problem, because a lot of people have a problem.
Right.
So now celebrities are reaching out saying, hey, I want to be involved in this.
Right. How can
love
I be a
that.
Well, in the
part of
magazine,
solution?
it doesn't have any advertising. It doesn't make money. It's strictly articles that could be informative to people in all different areas.
She also talked a little bit about being a celebrity, and I want to get y'all's take on this too. And she said, the person interviewing her said, you know, did you have yes people that it made it easier for you to continue with your addiction? And she said, look, it can happen to anyone. I was at the top of my game.
Right.
I succumbed to the pleasures and relief that opiates brought me. It
Same.
doesn't matter. But people do think it's easier, right, if you're a celebrity or
Sure.
that everyone's saying yes to you all the time.
I mean, I did have a doorman in New York City that would give me cocaine, which was simple, but it was just as easy for me to get drugs in Kentucky where I grew up. And so I think no matter what, it doesn't matter who's saying yes or who's saying no. You're going to be drawn to the people who are going to help you indulge in your addiction. And the right people, I mean, I walked away from the people that told me the truth.
You have to. You have to walk away from the people. I can remember vividly 3 days before Chris Farley died, sitting in a hotel room in Santa Monica doing an intervention with his brother and looking at him and saying, you're not going to make it. I mean, you're that bad now. And then they found him in his apartment 3 days later.
sad. I'm still sad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he had all of those people around him that just went, yeah.
Well, when Daniel was new, I sober companioned him onto a movie set, and just going out anywhere, it was weird because people everybody was offering stuff.
Right.
And it was kind of like they want to get high with a celebrity.
Of course, to
and
have the story.
And it was kind of having to always be in the middle of it, and it was extremely difficult to get through that.
She also talks a bit about how she copes with pain today. And I've always wondered this, because once you are sober, let's say you have a surgery that's going to give you some severe pain, and you have to have some type of painkiller. She said she has a very rigid program. As soon as the pain's tolerable, she takes ibuprofen, and then she takes a video on her phone of her pouring them down the toilet, and she sends that video to all of her friends so that they know they're gone.
Yeah.
But she's figured out in her world that that's what she has to do.
Right. I mean, I had a surgery at like 7 years of sobriety where I had to take some type of a pain medication, but I was on the phone with my sponsor before, I was on the phone after, and then I never had access to the drugs because I would have someone give them to me.
Smart.
And then when I knew when I didn't need it, but it's tricky because it triggers that allergy
That's what she said, the want.
The want, yeah.
She said they start speaking to me, and when they start speaking to me, then I know that's
You're
it.
like, good. So
When I had broke my neck, the first thing the doctor did was try to get me 2 times, and I said, listen, if I start taking this, the broken neck is going to be the
least of your
second
worries.
problem. And I knew that I could get anything I wanted to. And if I jumped in, I probably would have never gotten out of bed again. So I just sat really still for a long time. Literally, I slapped in my chair and just didn't move my head much, because if I did, it hurt a lot. You know, I don't know if I'd have made it through it.
You weren't taking
there are measures that you can take to be safe.
And there's stuff that's stronger than over the counter that you can take that's non-narcotic.
Right, sure.
You know, I remember having my neck surgery, and I took Toradol, and although it didn't give me the high, it didn't give me. It did. What was better than taking, you know, ibuprofen. You know, it was an alternative to it, and I needed to do that. I didn't want to take one of those pills.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, we're going to do viewer questions. We have so many questions that our viewers have posted on Facebook, and we will do that after the break. And welcome back, everyone. We are here with Sober Recover, and we have so many viewer questions to get to. So I'm just going to get started.
Okay.
Y'all ready?
Let's
Whoever
do
wants
it.
to take it, take it. So first up, someone wrote in, how can Soba help someone who's worried their drinking routine might be moving more toward dependence?
I love how we always get this question, but it's
very
phrased in a
popular
different
question,
way. If you have to question whether or not you have a dependency issue, or is my routine not working anymore, That's not a normal question to have to ask
So
yourself.
if you're even having the question, if that's even in your mind,
that's like saying
something's off.
When is it too much chocolate milk or cake?
True.
I know when I've had enough cake.
You too.
I don't. That was a lie. I do not. Listen.
I have a good one.
Okay.
So, what are the things that you usually do every day? You eat, you sleep,
Right.
you brush your teeth,
Sure.
you go to work, you get this. If you drink every day, you should probably take a look at that.
But that's not a dumb question.
No, it's not a dumb question.
And the thing is this, that it's starting a conversation.
Right.
So, and a lot of people don't know where the line is. They don't know what it is.
Is this normal? Is
Yeah,
this not normal?
and
Do other people do this?
And so
Right.
it's kind of like this. We'll, chuckle a little bit that those questions come in a different phrase, but honestly, if you're having to think about it, then it's something that maybe you should talk about.
Right.
And it's okay to give us a call and just kind of
always
check in
someone
and
there.
talk. Yeah.
Well,
can
you
answer
say
your calls.
something that's very, very true about the real answer to this question. And Greg said to me, "Does this interfere with the quality of your life?
Right.
Does it interfere in any way? Are you over even minor stuff? You're oversleeping, getting late to work.
Right.
Then it's interfering with the quality of your life, and therefore there must be something. Anything else that would interfere, you would stop doing.
Of course.
Or also, are you feeling messed up on the inside? That's how I like to phrase it, because I think a lot of us believe that our lives aren't out of control until it looks physically out of control, but it starts from an inside emotional pain that causes an unmanageability to manifest on the outside. So if you're using it to cope, then that might be something to look into.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. Could you describe some relapse trigger factors that loved ones don't normally realize might affect someone who is sober or working to become sober? Trigger factors, relapse trigger factors. I know we've talked about these before.
My personal thing, this is a personal opinion, I'm the trigger no matter what, right? But there are some things to be mindful of when someone's fresh in sobriety and while they're getting their foundation set, just, you can't fix them. Like, no one can fix them. They have to be the one to do the work. But just being mindful of, like, watching their behaviors and that open line of communication, if we can be honest all the time without being afraid of hurting the other person's feelings, then I think that good conversations will happen and we don't have to worry about triggers.
Yeah.
I think the three biggest ones that I usually deal with people on when they do relapse are family events, the holidays,
Weddings.
Any kind of event or holiday. And you have to ask yourself, are you really ready to go do that? Because you know what, nice people say no. So, when everyone's getting together for Thanksgiving and that 3/4 of your family is going to be drinking during that whole meal, are you really ready to go back to that?
Right.
And any kind of social stuff, bars, stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is that if you have somebody who's new in recovery, let them have an out. So
Sure, yeah.
don't
Make them feel like they have to. be
Yeah,
there.
you have to come, and it's a family thing. When you know that it is something like that, or if they come in and can't stay for a long time, be okay with it. I had to
make
just
them
kind
feel
of
bad.
pop in and
that's a
out
great
for a little
point.
bit, but if somebody, I know it's a wedding and it's it's this and it's that, and but it's okay to let them.
Let 'em
come
leave.
to your next wedding.
If the-
Another one. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Da-da-da-da.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have to
Come
get
to
through.
your
bonus.
next
But
wedding.
After the break, if you are suffering, if you have a loved one who's in trouble right now, we're going to tell you what you can do right now, today, to get on the right track. We'll be right back. That was a good one, Greg. Good morning, everyone. We are back with Sober Recovery. Greg, Daniel, Tara are here, but now Alex has joined us.
Yeah.
Handsome Alex,
Hey.
sharp-dressed man. Always looks
Sharp-dressed
good.
man.
Doesn't he? Always like put
Always.
together. Well, all of you are, but I can feel when I say that.
Like,
Greg goes,
validate me. Validate me.
I just wear my uniform.
Your uniform. Well, it's a good one. So I mentioned earlier before the break that if there's someone watching right now, if they feel like they're in trouble, if they have someone they love who they feel like is in trouble, what can they do today? Because a lot of people have no idea where to even start.
Right.
Yeah, it starts with the phone call. So I know people get to see this show all over the place, but we do have a facility in San Antonio.
Right.
And
And we're looking here.
yeah,
at
that's
Soba,
here. It's over
Texas.
by SeaWorld. And If you're unsure, just start with the phone call, or if you want to come out and do a tour and meet some of the staff.
Okay.
We always welcome that.
And there's always someone to answer the phones. But really, I think a lot of people are thinking, well, should I call? I don't really know if it, I don't really know if I need to go to treatment.
Sure.
I mean, is that really what I need? Am I that, far?
You can call and pretend you're calling for somebody
friend.
else.
Just call for a
I
friend.
have a friend who's very uncomfortable
Yeah.
with the idea of this place. I'd like to take a look.
Well, I think too, people are under the stigma that they're going to some hospital or a
Right.
lockdown prison or whatever, and it's actually
You
a
can see it's
beautiful
not.
ranch, and
It's so
you know,
beautiful.
really warm. There's animals there, and there's great
There's a
food.
pool.
And it's not a punishing situation.
Right.
It's a place to come and
Get well.
and get well. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, not punishing for the staff or the clients. Jane, who actually answers the phone, just
Okay.
went and bought 6 little chickens. So
Aww,
you might hear them in the background when you call.
Chickens. I love that. And the number is 866-948-9014. You can also go to sobatexas.com if you would like more information. But again, there's always someone to answer the phone, right? Day or night?
Yes.
all the time.
Okay. Or you can send a message.
Yeah, Facebook
Facebook
direct
message.
Hit us up, yeah,
Yeah.
hit it in the DM.
Right.
Just
Hey.
find them on Facebook and send them a message.
Find me on
They
Facebook.
are here to help.
Call me.
They really are. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
And we will see you guys next time. Rocky, you did so good.
Yeah.
Tuck it out now.
Rocky and like, oh, it's look. Alex walked right over now. Not a peep. Phone's walked over here. Hi, I'm Daniel Baldwin, and this is Soba, Texas, where I got sober. When you come to Soba, you're not going to a hospital. You're going to a beautiful ranch. You're going to a place of peace where you're going to join a family of people that have a common problem, addiction or alcohol. Your treatment plan is made by the clinicians here at Soba, depending upon the circumstances in your life, not like one size fits all. It starts with a phone call. Someone will answer the phone and talk you through exactly what your needs are. Call now.